Welcome to this episode of the GymInformer podcast. I'm Chris Gilbert, your host for this episode. And today our guest is Dakota, the owner of WISCO Barbell, a small but very cool powerlifting gym up in Wisconsin that I got a chance to go to this last summer. So I'm super excited to talk to him about the gym. But before we get started, let me take a pause and I'll show you the photos I took when I was at the gym. All right, Dakota, before we get started talking about the gym, can you tell us what was kind of your path and how did you become a gym owner?
Yeah, so I was a personal trainer for a large corporate gym, Anytime Fitness. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about it.
Yeah.
In southern Wisconsin, there's one owner that owns quite a few Anytime Fitnesses. So with that, he was able to hire as everybody as employees, full-time employees, which was really nice. So I didn't necessarily have to find my own clients. There was already a manager set in place to find clients for me, which was really nice as a personal trainer. If anybody's personal trained before, they know how difficult it can be to find clients. So it was really nice. Starting out, I was able to get a nice wage and just basically build up clientele from there. With Anytime Fitness, I was able to learn a lot through their upper management. They had a lot of first of all, it was just onboarding. And then it was just a lot of continuing education. There was always a lot of good resources around me that we could utilize to pick their brains and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I was training there for about 7 years.
Oh, wow.
And I had a lot of clients come through. I was at a location in downtown Madison for quite a while. I started training this one woman specifically. And then this will come in later. That's why I brought her up. But I later got moved to a different location in a small suburb just outside of Madison, Wisconsin. And when I did that, I had a lot of the people from that first gym that I worked at started traveling a little bit further outside of town just to follow me. And then one of these women specifically, her husband also knew of me and invited us over, me and my fiance, current fiance now, just to kind of chat. And this was kind of during the pandemic. And during that chat, we decided that opening a gym was kind of both of our dreams, me and my client's husband. So we kind of just loosely talked about that for a little bit. And then about a year later, I got a phone call from him, and he said he was ready to open a gym. So we kind of laid out the blueprints on that and what it would look like, how much it would cost, who else we would need on our team. We then brought in another friend of his that basically does everything on the back end. So website design, overall gym aesthetic, color schemes, what our lounge would look like, any kind of amenities. She kind of helped a lot on that end. And then the original guy I was linked up with, his name is Eric. He kind of helped us with the financing of things, which helped out a lot. Starting a business is really tough to get a sizable loan.
Oh, yeah.
So starting with somebody who had some money to put down was crucial for me. It's something I didn't have at the time, and I basically credit my gym ownership to both of them combined. All three of us, we couldn't have done it without each other. So we had a pretty good team from the start.
Very cool. So the gym's, it's not a big gym.
It's not huge. So we have 5,500 square feet. Some of that is lounge space. So let's see, about 1,500 of that is lounge space, including lockers, cubbies, bathrooms, showers. And then we have a sauna in there as well. And then once you wrap around, that's where you come to the open gym space. The open gym space is including a large turf area, about 650 square feet of turf. And that's where I hold most of my classes, which is where we get most of our revenue for the gym. And that kind of props everything up for the open gym members, in which we can buy, other equipment and kind of build that out. We have a lot of deadlift and powerlifting platforms. So yeah, the training really helps prop up the gym.
Okay. Yeah, at 4,000 square feet, you had to be pretty selective about the equipment that you put in there.
Yeah.
Um, so like, can you kind of like talk about like why did you decide on the equipment that you did decide on?
Well, it's all strength based, right? So we went with a lot of essentials. We bought new for pretty much everything. This was just post pandemic. So prices were starting to soar. Uh,
Hmm.
we went with a lot of like home gym type companies like Rep Fitness, Fray Fitness, um, Fringe, Fringe Sport. And then for like the bigger stuff like the barbells and stuff, we went with all like Rogue barbells. We are a barbell club, so we wanted to emphasize a lot of different kinds of barbells. So we have some specialty bars like safety squat bars and axle bars. The original partner I was talking with, Eric, he's an amateur strongman competitor, so he had collected a lot of strongman equipment over the years.
Hmm.
We were able to put a lot of that in, and then just kind of build out the rest of the space how we wanted to. We know we wanted a lot of racks. We wanted a lot of squatting space, right? So like in a lot of gyms, there's one, two, maybe three squat racks, and sometimes people are going to have to like wait to use those, especially at busy times like a 5 p.m. or 6 a.m.
Yeah, you have like more than a half a dozen, don't you?
Yeah, so we have one big rig that has 6 squat stations. That we also have 4 additional squat racks on top of that, and those are all on platforms. And then
Hmm.
that we have another platform that's pretty much exclusively for just deadlifts and like Olympic platforms. It doesn't have a rack on it.
Yeah, so that's quite a few racks for a 4,000 square foot gym.
Yeah, yeah, and we have a lot of people that are just very strength focused, and I mean, we admire the what the barbell can do as far as strength. So as far as like machines and stuff, we're I think we're kind of bare bones on that.
Yeah, it would seem like mostly legs and just a couple of upper body pieces.
Yeah, so we have a rather large cable system. It's got a really giant weight stack on it, 250 pounds, and it's a 1-to-1 rate ratio. So you can do quite a bit with that. We have a low row and high pull back machine, a cable machine. And then we have a leg extension, a seated hamstring curl, and then a new addition since the last time you were there um, is a unilateral leg press.
Okay.
So you can pin it together. This is from where was that one from? Fettle Fitness. I think they're down in Georgia.
Yeah, they're like right outside of Atlanta, I think. I've used some of their equipment before.
Yeah, yeah, they're great guys. Yeah, you could put the pin in, use it as a regular leg press, or you can take the pin out and use it as a unilateral leg press, and it's really smooth, and members just love it.
Very
We have one of the first purchases that we made actually was a GHD reverse hyper combo. That's something that we don't really see, especially in Madison for some reason, is just not, especially commercial gyms too. You just don't really see a reverse hyper. And those who have been around strength sports for quite a while, those who know Louis Simmons and West Side
Mhm.
Bar out in Ohio, they know the importance of a reverse hyper and what that can do for you.
Oh, completely. Yeah. We were actually just on the podcast, the new podcast I posted today. We were talking about equipment variety, and we were mentioning that piece of equipment and how important it is for like a powerlifting gym, but isn't necessarily as important for like a bodybuilding gym. But
Right, right.
powerlifting gyms, it's I feel like it's a pretty important piece just because the lower back and the strength in the lower back is so vital when you're trying to like squat or deadlift so heavy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a sculpting piece like a bodybuilding gym would be, but
Right. If you're creative enough, you can use it as such.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Now if we switch gears and talk about the atmosphere, I thought the atmosphere there was really interesting in that a lot of a lot of powerlifting gyms that I go to are kind of gritty or definitely hardcore. And it seemed to me that you guys took the opposite approach and went more for like in no way. And when I say this, in no way should anyone take this as like it didn't feel like a fitness center at all, but it was definitely a very clean, inviting, like not intimidating at all sort of atmosphere, almost more like high end. Was that something you guys did on purpose or
Yeah. Yeah.
and
So as I mentioned before, like our training really does prop up the gym. It's where we make most of our revenue by far. And then, I mean, if you know anything about like training demographics, the person that's most likely to buy training long term is going to be somebody, generally a woman, generally in their 30s or 40s, and
Mm-hmm.
we know those types of people like cleanliness. So we spend a lot of time cleaning. In addition to me training 40 hours a week, I'm also cleaning maybe 5 to 10 hours a week. Partners are as well. So bathrooms are always very clean. We're vacuuming all the time. I'm mopping 2 or 3 times a week. We just want things to be tidy and clean and organized and stuff like that. And yeah, so
Yeah, there was definitely a little more effort put into decor than you usually see in like a small powerlifting gym.
yeah, absolutely. That's definitely Lauren, my other business partner. So she's got all the plants that she keeps watered in the lounge. The lounge has like couches and chairs and a whole like a dining room table essentially.
Right.
So we have like you can purchase like beverages there. We have energy drinks. We have like a partnership with a local coffee company. They created like a protein coffee drink for us. So that's always been a big hit. We just want somewhere where like people can come and hang out. They can work from home there. They can come and hang out before or after a session, and not feel like they have to rush home to get work done or something like that. They can always do it at the gym if they need to.
So, and it sounds like it was something you definitely did on purpose because of the target demographic for your training clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another reason why we bought new too, just so we can match pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like exclusively all of our equipment is all black. Our colors are black and white. So black flooring. We painted a couple of walls black. The ceiling is black. It is a very clean and aesthetic look.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely like got that high end vibe and kind of almost like a health club vibe, which
Yeah,
was which honestly when I walked in it threw me off a little bit, and I was like, this kind of feels like a health club, but it's definitely a powerlifting gym.
yeah, for sure. It's kind of the best of both worlds,
Nice. So we talked a bit about like the things that you guys are doing really well and what you're doing. Are there some things that you feel like you could be doing better?
Yeah. Honestly, the open gym membership. So training has always been booming. We have fantastic retention on training. We offer 2 different types of classes. So it's a larger group that's up to 10 people, and then a smaller group that's up to 4 people. Both
Mm-hmm.
very strength based. The 10-person class is a cheaper class. We offer that for $199 a month for unlimited availability there. And then for the small group class, we offer that for $399 a month, and that's also unlimited classes. So with those, we're able to kind of like, I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Like,
That pays the bills.
yeah. So just that alone pays the bills. So like marketing for the open gym membership is kind of put to the wayside. We can host way more members than what we have as far as open gym goes.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of good gyms in Madison. We're a very fitness inclined city.
Yeah.
Most of like our new members that we get are new to town, and we're actually the highest rated gym on Google in Madison.
Oh wow.
Somebody comes into town and they're new into town, they Google gyms near me. We usually pop up as one of the first ones, and once they see the place, they usually sign up. But the hard part is getting people to switch, especially in contract gyms. That's something where we differentiate from other gyms too. Is we don't do contracts, we don't do sign up fees, no enrollment fees or anything like that. Just our prices. I always sell it like it's like a Netflix subscription. You just sign up, you got a membership, you can cancel anytime you'd like.
Oh yeah, and then you have a membership. I'm assuming that's just for open gym that doesn't include any classes.
Yeah, so that's just $55 a month, which is I think right around the market rate. I know some commercial gyms are starting to creep up even higher than that. We don't intend to raise that price really anytime soon, especially since that we have some room to grow there.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like from gym rate standpoint, it's all over the board when it comes to like locally owned gyms. So I've seen gyms that make the mistake of trying to compete with the generic commercial gyms, and I've seen gyms that are in the $80 to $125 a month range. So
Right.
you know, it all depends on the city and the gym, and if it's working for you, then it's obviously in the right range. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the biggest reason somebody would come to WISCO Barbell Club over any other gym in Madison is the vibes, the community, it's the cleanliness of the gym, it's the availability of equipment, certain times of the day, things like that.
yeah, no, I mean, you definitely if somebody is interested in being a power lifter or doing powerlifting sort of workouts, like you definitely had plenty of equipment there, and for the size of the gym, it was actually a pretty good amount of equipment. So you guys did a good job with equipping it for powerlifting.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Um,
one thing we lack on the powerlifting side is kilo calibrated weights. Those are incredibly more expensive than
oh
what.
yeah, they definitely are.
Yeah, we went with Rogue deep dish plates, which again, that was just kind of for the aesthetic. They're black. They don't even have the white paint on. They're black painted all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Look beautiful on the black Rogue bars, right on top of the platforms that we finished ourselves. Yeah, it's really all about the aesthetic and the vibes.
Yeah, no, and with your clientele and the clientele that you're targeting, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So at this point, how long have you been open?
A year and 9 months.
Okay, so you're coming up on 2 years. Um, you got a successful business going. You're in essentially like a smaller gym. Um, what's next for Wisco? Are you happy with where you are? Is there a larger location in the future? Will there ever be a second Wisco barbell? Like or have you guys even thought about that far down the road? Or
Yeah, so Madison is a pretty unique city. It's if you know anything about it, it's pretty much all on an isthmus, and so it's surrounded by two large lakes. So because of that, people tend to be a little bit pigeonholed to one side of the city or the other, west side, east side, north side. And with that, so like we have a lot of east siders because we are on the east side.
Mhm.
We have a 5-year lease at our place. We do like our location. It is a little unconventional. We're kind of tucked away in a small industrial park that's surrounded by many neighborhoods.
Mhm.
Um, so if we do open another location, which we very well may plan to in about 3.5 years or so, it'll be exclusively a boutique gym. So, and that's just basically just for financial purposes. From what I found, it's very difficult to sustain just an open gym membership gym, especially in this city where we have a lot of really good competition that I'm thankful for too. I really like having these people around that kind of help inspire me and stuff.
Yeah, Madison's got some really good gyms.
Yeah, yeah. And also, Madison has a lot of good tech and healthcare companies that are paying really well. So there's a lot of people that are coming into town that are making 6 figures pretty easily, sometimes even right out of college. So
Mhm.
I look at that as training money. People I can get as clients, as training clients, and not just open gym members.
Oh, completely.
So if we do open a location, it's going to be much smaller. I'm thinking maybe like 2,500 square feet max, and it would be almost exclusively a training boutique. And then I would have just another person, another trainer to hire that would almost run that exclusively.
And would you put that out on the west side probably?
Yeah,
Just
the north side, or somewhere near there, far enough away from us where it was like anybody in Madison would be close enough to go to one or the other.
oh yeah, definitely. Um, so one of the things we always like to ask gym members who've been around for a minute and had some experiences, um, is there any advice that you would give to someone who's thinking about opening a gym or wants to open a gym?
Yeah, square footage is huge, and then price per square foot is huge. So one thing that we did, we have more space than just the gym. So kind of like towards the end, the back end of our gym where I'm sitting right now, we have 4 offices. We occupy 2 of them, and we rent out the other 2. So those other 2 have a separate entrance that they can use, a private entrance essentially. We've rented those out to a few different people. A couple people that have like remote jobs, they just wanted an office too to feel more productive in.
Mhm.
So with that, we can offer, you got bathrooms, you got showers, you got a free gym membership. You just pay us $500 to $600 a month for that, and that's some good passive income for us. And then in the large building that we're in, there's 4 businesses in our building. We actually have the unit right next to us, which is an 1,800 square foot space. And we rent that out to one of the businesses that's in the front of our building. So that helps cover costs. It kind of helps, just keep things afloat and keep revenue coming in. So it's tough to get that because we don't own our building. We lease it, and we got in a kind of a sweetheart deal with a guy. Landlord, he was currently, like, when we found him, he was deconstructing what my gym used to be, was a call center. And he said, basically, if you can commit and you can sign a lease with me, I'll build it out however you would like.
Oh, wow.
Included bathrooms and showers where I wanted them, outlets where I wanted them, and all that kind of stuff. And then with that too, we said, if we can have the other space, the 1,800 square foot room, we would like to rent that out. So it'd be no skin off his back. It'd be a lot easier just to have that one tenant, which would be us. And then it would be our responsibility to find and fill that tenant.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you guys are kind of got a whole deal there.
Yeah. And it's all about just building relationships and networking, good faith relationships. Yeah,
no, that's super cool. So is there anything else you'd want to tell people about WISCO Barbell?
Yeah, I mean, we're open for business. We can always hold more members, especially open gym members. If you're ever coming through, we have a very cheap drop-in rate. It's only $10. And then, like I said, we don't do contracts or anything, so everything's month to month. So we've had a few people that come, like a traveling nurse, for example, who came in recently. She was here for about 4 weeks. Instead of paying, what would be $60 to $80 in day passes, she just bought 1 month membership for $55, and then she had access for the entire month. So it makes things easy for people who are coming through to town. And like I said, Madison's becoming a large tech and healthcare hub. So we have a lot of people at conferences, a lot of people coming through. So if you're ever finding yourself in the area in Madison, come check us out. Meet the team and have a good lift.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're, from my experience, if you're looking for a little different take on a powerlifting gym, and you want to go in and lift something heavy and throw around some heavy weights, but you're not into the grit or the grime of a lot of those old school hardcore powerlifting gyms, this might be a really good spot for you. So I appreciate you coming on the podcast, Dakota, and thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime, man.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more great content.